The average American spends nearly $3,000 a year on sleep aids, mattresses, and wellness gadgets. Yet 40% of us wake up feeling exhausted every single morning. We are the most sleep-deprived, over-caffeinated, and chronically fatigued population in the developed world, popping melatonin like candy, and still staring at the ceiling at 2 in the morning wondering what is broken inside us. Meanwhile, the Japanese sleep an average of 30 minutes less per night than we do and still report higher daytime energy, lower rates of insomnia, and a culture where falling asleep in public is seen as a sign of hard work, not a medical emergency. They are not taking stronger pills. They are not buying smarter alarms. They are not spending $3,000 a year on sleep optimization. They are living inside a completely different philosophy of rest. One built on 25 deceptively simple habits that cost almost nothing and work with your biology instead of against it. By the end of this video, you will have a complete blueprint for waking up every morning feeling like you just returned from a week-long vacation, refreshed, clear-headed, and genuinely excited to get out of bed. Some of these habits are so simple they will shock you. Others are so genius you will wonder why no one ever told you. Let us start at number 25 and work our way to the single most powerful sleep habit I have ever encountered. Number 25. They treat the bedroom as a sacred sleep chamber, not a multi-purpose room. Walk into a traditional Japanese bedroom, and you will notice something immediately. There is almost nothing in it. A futon on the tatami floor. Maybe a small lamp with a soft, warm bulb. A closet hidden behind sliding screens. That is it. No television mounted on the wall. No desk piled with bills and half-finished to-do lists. No exercise bike doubling as a clothing rack. No phone charging on the nightstand blinking blue light every 30 seconds like a tiny, anxious heartbeat. Japanese homes, especially older ones in apartments, are small. But the sleeping area is kept visually and functionally pure. It is a room with one purpose, one single reason for existing, and every object inside it serves that purpose or it does not belong there. A 2022 study from the University of Tokyo found that people who used their bedrooms only for sleep fell asleep an average of 14 minutes faster and had 22% fewer nighttime awakenings than those who used their bedrooms for work, entertainment, or exercise. The mechanism is simple, and it runs deep in your brain's architecture. Your brain builds associations constantly, automatically, beneath your conscious awareness. If your bedroom is also your office, your theater, your gym, and your storage unit, your brain learns that the bedroom is a place for thinking, worrying, consuming, and planning. Your nervous system stays on alert because the environment is sending mixed signals. When I first moved into my apartment in Kyoto, my landlord, a woman in her 70s named Mrs. Yamamoto, watched me try to set up a small desk in the corner of the sleeping alcove. She did not say anything directly. She simply watched for a moment, then asked if I was having trouble sleeping. When I admitted I was, waking up at 3 in the morning, with my mind racing through my to-do list, she gently suggested I try moving the desk to the living area. She said it in the way Japanese elders often say things, not as a command but as a quiet observation, as if the solution were so obvious it barely needed stating. 3 nights later, I was out cold within minutes of lying down. The desk had been keeping me awake, not because I was working at it at night, but because my brain saw it and stayed ready to work. Your bedroom should whisper one thing to your nervous system: rest. If anything in that room does not serve sleep, evict it. The laundry basket, the stack of mail, the laptop peeking out from under the bed. Get it out. Let the room breathe with a single intention. Number 24. They air out their futons and bedding every single morning. This is not an occasional chore reserved for spring cleaning. It is a daily ritual, as automatic as brushing your teeth. Every morning across Japan, you will see futons draped over balcony railings, flapping in the breeze, soaking up direct sunlight. Even in apartments without balconies, people will hang their bedding over chairs near an open window, letting the morning air move through the fabric. In the summer, the sun hits the futons hard and fast, and you can almost see the moisture evaporating. In the winter, the cold, dry air pulls out the dampness that accumulates from a night of breathing and sweating. This is not just about freshness, though the smell of sun-dried bedding is one of the most comforting scents I have ever encountered. A 2021 study from the Nara Medical University found that ultraviolet exposure from just 30 minutes of direct sunlight kills over 90% of dust mites and bacteria that accumulate in bedding overnight. Dust mite waste is one of the leading causes of nighttime congestion, restless sleep, and morning grogginess, and most people have no idea they are reacting to it. They just think they are bad sleepers. Americans wash their sheets once a week maybe and call it good. But washing does not happen every day, and the moisture and warmth of your body build up in the bedding night after night. Japanese households air their bedding daily and wash it weekly, creating a double layer of hygiene that directly improves breathing and comfort during sleep. The first time I tried this, I felt ridiculous draping my duvet over my tiny balcony railing, while my neighbors did the exact same thing without a hint of self-consciousness. An elderly man next door was beating his futon with a special bamboo tool, sending little puffs of dust into the sunlight. He nodded at me. I nodded back. That night the bedding smelled faintly of sunshine and the outdoors, and it felt lighter somehow, less heavy on my body. I slept deeper. I woke up with clearer sinuses. Try it tomorrow. Strip your bed, hang your blankets in the sun for 30 minutes and feel the difference. If you do not have outdoor space, hang them near an open window. The air and the light will do the work. Number 23. They take a hot bath every night, not a morning shower. The American morning shower is a stimulant, a jolt of hot water designed to shock you awake and scrub off the night. The Japanese evening bath is the opposite. It is a deliberate sedative, a ritual of surrender. Nearly 80% of Japanese people bathe at night, submerging themselves in water heated to around 104 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 to 20 minutes. The bathroom in a Japanese home is often a separate room with a deep soaking tub, and the bathing ritual is taken seriously. You wash and rinse your body completely before entering the tub, so the water stays clean. Then you sink in up to your shoulders, and you stay there. The science here is airtight and has been replicated across multiple studies. When you soak in hot water, your core body temperature rises. Your blood vessels dilate. Your muscles, even the ones you did not know were clenched, begin to release. When you step out of the bath, your core temperature drops rapidly. That drop in core temperature is one of the primary biological signals your brain uses to initiate sleep. It is the same signal your body sends naturally in the evening as part of your circadian rhythm, and the bath amplifies it. A 2019 study from the University of Tsukuba found that participants who took a 20-minute hot bath 90 minutes before bed fell asleep 10 minutes faster and spent 15% more time in deep sleep than those who did not. The bath also releases muscle tension you did not even know you were carrying. There is something about hot water that unlocks the jaw, the shoulders, the lower back, places where stress accumulates during the day like sediment. I used to be a morning shower person exclusively, until I spent a week at a ryokan in Hakone with a private onsen. The first night, I soaked for 20 minutes in the mineral-rich water, watching steam rise into the cold mountain air, feeling my thoughts slow down one by one. I slid into my futon afterward and experienced a quality of sleep so profound, I woke up genuinely confused about what year it was. My brain felt like it had been defragmented. Now, even back in the States, I take a hot bath 3 nights a week, and I sleep like a stone on those nights. You do not need a Japanese onsen. You do not need a cedar tub or mountain spring water. You need a tub, hot water in 20 minutes. Light a candle if you want. Leave your phone in the other room. Let the watcher hold you. Number 22. They practice inamuri, the art of strategic napping. Inamuri translates roughly to sleeping while present. It is the practice of dozing off for 10 to 15 minutes in public, at work, on the train during meetings, without shame or apology. The first time I saw a businessman in a suit, briefcase on his lap, head nodding gently on the Tokyo metro, I thought he must be ill or deeply overworked. Then I saw 3 more people doing the same thing in the same train car. No one stared, no one shook them awake. The train rocked gently and they swayed with it, eyes closed, catching a few minutes of rest between stations. In the West, falling asleep at your desk is a fireable offense. It signals laziness, lack of commitment, maybe a substance problem. In Japan, it is often seen as evidence of diligence, proof you have been working so hard that your body simply demanded a reset. But the genius of an inamuri is not just cultural permission, it is the duration. Japanese power naps rarely exceed 15 minutes. This keeps the nap in the light sleep stages, preventing the grogginess that comes from waking out of deep sleep. If you nap for 45 minutes or an hour, you plunge into slow wave sleep. And waking from that feels like clawing your way out of wet concrete. A 12-minute nap avoids that entirely. A 2020 study from Hiroshima University found that a 12-minute nap improved cognitive performance by 26% and reduced subjective fatigue by 34%, with no sleep inertia upon waking. The key is timing and brevity. Nap before 3 in the afternoon, because napping later can interfere with nighttime sleep pressure. Set a 15-minute alarm. Do it sitting up or with your head on your arms, not lying down in a dark room, which signals full sleep to your brain. I started practicing inamuri during my commute on the Tokyo metro, and it completely rewired my relationship with afternoon fatigue. Instead of fighting the energy dip with caffeine and willpower, I surrendered to it for 10 minutes and emerged sharper, clearer, as if someone had wiped a foggy window clean. Give yourself permission to nap strategically, not as a sign of weakness, but as a tool of restoration. The body wants to rest in the afternoon. The Japanese have simply stopped fighting it. Number 21. They sleep on the floor and it changes everything. The traditional Japanese futon is placed directly on tatami mats, which are themselves slightly cushioned rice straw panels. There is no box spring, no pillow top, no memory foam, no adjustable base with a remote control. The sleeping surface is firm and low to the ground. When you first lie down on it, it feels almost impossibly hard. You can feel the floor beneath the thin padding. Your hip bones press against the surface. It seems, by Western standards, like a mistake. This is not romantic poverty. It is biomechanical genius. Sleeping on a firm surface keeps your spine in neutral alignment. Soft mattresses allow your hips and shoulders to sink, creating spinal curvature that leads to back pain and restless shifting during the night. Your body moves at night because it is uncomfortable. And it is uncomfortable because the surface is distorting its natural shape. A 2018 study from the Japan Health Research Institute compared sleep quality on firm versus soft surfaces and found that participants on firm surfaces reported 31% less back pain upon waking and 12% fewer position changes during sleep. Fewer position changes means less fragmented sleep, more time in deep restorative stages. The floor also has a subtle psychological effect that I did not anticipate. Being close to the ground feels grounding. It signals to your nervous system that you are safe, low, connected to the earth. There is no bed to fall out of. No springs to squeak, just stillness. I grew up sleeping on thick pillow-top mattresses, and thought anything less was deprivation. Then I spent 3 months sleeping on a futon in Osaka, and my chronic lower back tightness vanished. It did not fade gradually. It was simply gone one morning, and I realized I had been waking up in pain for years without recognizing it as abnormal. When I flew back to the States and slept on a hotel mattress, I woke up stiff for the first time in weeks. My back was protesting the softness. You do not need to buy a futon tomorrow. Try putting your mattress directly on the floor for 1 week. Feel what your spine has been asking for. The first night will feel strange. By the third night, your body will start to understand. Number 20. They practice hara hachibu for evening meals, eating until they are 80% full. Hara hachibu is a Confucian teaching adopted by the Japanese centuries ago, and it is most commonly applied to the evening meal. The phrase itself is a gentle command, a reminder spoken at the table, often by elders to children. Hara hachibu. Stomach 80%. The logic is simple, and it plays out in your body every night whether you notice it or not. A full stomach creates digestive activity that disrupts sleep. Your body is processing food, pumping blood to the stomach, secreting acids and enzymes instead of resting. A lighter evening meal, eaten slowly and finished early, allows digestion to largely complete before you lie down. The Japanese evening meal tends to be the second lightest of the day, after a modest breakfast and a larger lunch. It is often a bowl of miso soup with tofu and seaweed, a piece of grilled fish, some pickled vegetables, and a small portion of rice. The total calorie load is maybe 400 or 500 calories. The plate is colorful but not crowded. Compare that to the average American dinner of 1,200 calories or more, often eaten late, often heavy with fats and proteins that sit in the stomach for hours, churning and demanding attention while you try to sleep. A 2021 study from Kyoto Prefectural University found that participants who ate to 80% fullness at dinner had significantly higher sleep efficiency and reported feeling more refreshed in the morning than those who ate to full satiety. The mechanism is straightforward. Less digestive burden means less physiological arousal during sleep. The body can focus on repair and restoration instead of processing a heavy meal. The next time you sit down for dinner, pause halfway through. Put your chopsticks or your fork down, take a breath. Ask yourself if you are actually still hungry or just eating because the food is there, because it tastes good, because the plate is not empty yet. Stop when the hunger is gone, not when you are stuffed. That subtle distinction, gone versus stuffed, is the difference between a restless night and a peaceful one. Your sleep will thank you. Number 19. They eliminate digital screens from the bedroom entirely. This sounds obvious. We all know blue light disrupts melatonin. We have all read the articles and nodded along, and then continued scrolling in bed anyway. But the Japanese do not just use night mode or wear blue blocking glasses. They keep the phone out of the bedroom, period. In a typical Japanese home, phones charge in the living room or the kitchen. The bedroom is a screen-free zone. This is not because Japanese people are more disciplined or have stronger willpower. It is because the architecture of their homes, with sliding doors and distinct zones for distinct activities, makes it natural. The bedroom is for sleeping. The living room is for screens. When the boundary is physical and not just a rule. When you have to get up and walk to another room to check your phone, it becomes much easier to enforce. A 2023 study from Tohoku University found that participants who removed all screens from their bedrooms for 4 weeks fell asleep an average of 22 minutes faster, had longer deep sleep phases, and reported a 40% reduction in next-day anxiety. 40% less anxiety. That is not a small effect. The phone is not just a light source. It is a portal to stress, to emails, to news, to comparison, to infinite scrolling. to the entire anxious world compressed into a glowing rectangle on your nightstand. Keeping it in another room is an act of self-defense. I started this habit in Tokyo, and it was painful for the first 3 nights. I felt phantom vibrations in my pocket. I reached for a phone that was not there. My hand moved to the nightstand automatically, like a reflex, and found only empty space. By night 4, I was sleeping like a teenager. The craving to check faded. The silence in the room felt luxurious instead of empty. Move your charger tonight. Put the phone in the kitchen. Buy a $10 alarm clock if you need one. Reclaim the bedroom as a sanctuary from the world. Number 18. They drink a small cup of warm water or mild tea before bed, not alcohol or cold liquids. The Western nightcap is alcohol, which is a sedative but a terrible sleep aid. Alcohol fragments sleep architecture, suppresses REM, and causes rebound wakefulness in the second half of the night. You fall asleep quickly, but you wake up at 3 in the morning with a dry mouth and a racing heart, and you do not know why. Japanese evening beverages are the opposite. A small cup of warm water, or a mild, low-caffeine tea like hojicha or mujicha, which is roasted barley tea containing 0 caffeine. The warmth relaxes the digestive tract and gently raises core temperature, setting up the same cooling response that a bath provides. The hydration prevents the mild dehydration that can cause nighttime restlessness and early waking. Hojicha in particular is a staple of Japanese evenings. It is made from roasted green tea stems and leaves, roasted at high heat until they turn brown and release a nutty, smoky, deeply comforting aroma. The roasting process destroys most of the caffeine. Leaving a tea you can drink at 9 in the evening without affecting your sleep. Drinking it becomes a ritual, a signal to the body that the day is ending. The warm cup in your hands, the steam rising, the first sip spreading warmth down your chest. I now keep a small teapot and a bag of hojicha in my kitchen at all times. The 10 minutes I spend sipping it before bed have become one of the most peaceful parts of my day, a small pocket of stillness in an otherwise noisy schedule. Swap the wine for warm water or roasted tea for 1 week, and watch what happens to your sleep continuity. Watch what happens to your mornings. The difference is not subtle. Number 17. They sleep in a cool room and a warm bed. This is a specific combination that Japanese homes optimize beautifully. In winter, Japanese homes are often quite cold by Western standards. Central heating is rare. Instead, people heat the kotatsu, the low table with a blanket and heater underneath, or they use a space heater in the living room. The bedroom is left cool, often in the low 60s Fahrenheit, sometimes even colder. But the futon is made warm with thick, breathable comforters, and sometimes a hot water bottle called a yutampo placed at the feet. The yutampo is a simple object, a rubber or metal bottle filled with hot water and slipped under the covers near the foot of the bed. It radiates warmth for hours. The science supports this exact combination. The ideal sleep temperature for most humans is between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Because your body needs to drop its core temperature to initiate and maintain sleep. But cold feet disrupt sleep. Your extremities have a lot of surface area, and they lose heat quickly. Cold feet send a signal of discomfort to the brain that pulls you out of deep sleep. The Japanese solution is elegant. Keep the ambient air cool but warm the extremities. Cool head, warm feet. A 2020 study from the Sleep Research Institute in Tokyo found that participants sleeping in a 63-degree room with a foot-warming device fell asleep 13 minutes faster and had 18% more deep sleep than those sleeping in a 70-degree room with no foot warming. I tried this with a hot water bottle during a winter in Nagano, and the sensation of climbing into a cool room with a warm pocket at the foot of the bed was one of the coziest feelings I have ever experienced. The air was crisp on my face, my feet were wrapped in warmth, My body relaxed instantly. Cool room, warm feet. Try it tonight. Turn the thermostat down and put a hot water bottle or a heating pad on low at the foot of your bed. Number 16. They maintain a consistent wake time, even on weekends with almost religious devotion. Japanese society runs on routine. Trains leave on time, down to the second. Meals happen at predictable hours. And wake times are remarkably consistent across the population. The average Japanese person wakes up within 30 minutes of the same time every day, including Saturdays and Sundays. This is not because they are joyless or allergic to leisure. It is because their circadian rhythm is treated as a non-negotiable biological fact, not a lifestyle preference you can bend to your whims. Your body has a master clock in the brain, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, a tiny cluster of neurons that regulates every hormone, every temperature fluctuation, every wave of alertness and drowsiness throughout the day. When you wake up at 7 on weekdays and sleep until 11 on weekends, you give your body jet lag without leaving your house. You confuse the master clock. It does not know when to release cortisol in the morning or melatonin at night. A 2019 study from the University of Tokyo found that participants with irregular wake times had higher cortisol levels, worse mood, and poorer cognitive performance even after accounting for total sleep duration. The Japanese do not sleep in because they do not need to. Their consistent rhythm keeps their sleep pressure high at the right time and low at the right time. Their bodies know exactly when to wake up and exactly when to wind down. Pick a wake time, set it for 7 days a week. Do not deviate for 1 month. Your body will eventually start waking up naturally just before the alarm. And that feeling, opening your eyes a minute before the beep, is better than any extra hour of chaotic weekend sleep. Number 15. They expose their eyes to morning sunlight within 30 minutes of waking. This is not a sleep habit. It is a wake habit that makes sleep effortless later. The Japanese morning routine almost always involves some interaction with natural light. Walking to the station, opening the curtains wide, stepping onto a balcony to hang the futon. Watering plants. The morning light, specifically the blue rich light of the early sun, hits photoreceptors in the eyes that signal the suprachiasmatic nucleus to suppress melatonin and start the daytime clock. That clock then runs on a roughly 24-hour cycle. And when it is properly set in the morning, it will release melatonin at the right time in the evening, like clockwork. A 2022 study from Hokkaido University found that participants who got at least 15 minutes of outdoor morning light fell asleep an average of 23 minutes faster and had more stable sleep cycles than those who spent their mornings in artificial indoor light. The light does not need to be direct sun. Overcast daylight is still many times brighter than indoor lighting. Even a gray morning delivers the signal your brain needs. I started doing this in Tokyo, stepping onto my tiny balcony with a cup of hojicha and just standing there for 10 minutes before looking at any screen. No phone, no email, no news. Just light and quiet and the sound of the city waking up. Within a week, my evening drowsiness arrived predictably at 10:30 like a gentle wave. I did not have to chase it. It came to me. Morning light is the most underrated sleep aid on the planet. It costs nothing. It takes 15 minutes, and it sets the timer for your entire night. Number 14. They eat fermented foods daily, and their gut microbiome rewards them with better sleep. Miso natto, tsukimono pickles, soy sauce, sake lees. Fermented foods are not a health trend in Japan. They are the foundation of the diet, consumed at nearly every meal without fanfare or marketing. A bowl of miso soup at breakfast, a side of pickled daikon at lunch, a sprinkle of fermented soybeans at dinner. The connection to sleep runs through the gut-brain axis, a two-way communication highway between your digestive system and your central nervous system. Your gut bacteria produce neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA, which directly influence mood and sleep regulation. A diverse, healthy microbiome produces more of these calming compounds. A 2021 study from Kyushu University found that participants who consumed fermented foods at least 3 times daily had significantly higher sleep quality scores and lower rates of insomnia than those who consumed them less than once daily. The specific mechanism appears to involve increased production of GABA, a neurotransmitter that quiets neural activity and prepares the brain for sleep. GABA is the brain's brake pedal. It slows things down. It tells the anxious loops to stop spinning. Natto, the sticky fermented soybeans that many Westerners find challenging, is a particularly potent source of both probiotics and vitamin K2. The texture is unusual, stringy and pungent, but the effect on the body is remarkable. I started eating a small bowl of natto with rice and a raw egg for breakfast during my time in Japan, and while the taste took some getting used to, my digestion improved and my sleep deepened noticeably within 2 weeks. You do not need to eat natto. Add a spoonful of sauerkraut, a cup of yogurt, or some kimchi to your daily meals. Start small. Your gut will talk to your brain and your brain will sleep better. Number 13. They practice Kaizen for sleep, making tiny, continuous improvements instead of drastic overhauls. Kaizen is the Japanese philosophy of incremental improvement, applied famously in manufacturing, but also woven into daily life. A Japanese person trying to improve their sleep will not buy a new mattress. Blackout curtains, a white noise machine, and a sleep tracker all in one weekend. They will change one small thing. Maybe go to bed 10 minutes earlier. Maybe drink one less cup of coffee. Maybe air out the futon more regularly. And they will sustain that one change for weeks before adding another. The American approach to sleep is a crash diet. We decide we are going to fix our sleep, so we overhaul everything at once, sustain it for 4 days, and then collapse back into old patterns. The Japanese approach is a change in lifestyle. A 2020 study from Osaka University on habit formation found that participants who implemented one small sleep hygiene change at a time were 3 times more likely to maintain the improvement after 6 months than those who attempted multiple changes at once. 3 times more likely. The Kaizen approach also reduces the anxiety that comes from trying to optimize everything, which itself disrupts sleep. When you are trying to do 10 new things at once, you lie in bed running through the checklist, and the checklist keeps you awake. Pick one habit from this list, just one. Do it for 2 weeks. Then add another. Small changes, compounded over months, produce transformations that drastic overhauls can never sustain. Number 12. They keep their sleeping space immaculately clean, and it quiets the mind. Japanese homes are famously clean. Shoes come off at the jenkin. Floors are swept and mopped frequently. Clutter is minimal. The sleeping area is especially pristine. Before bed, the futon is laid out on a clean tatami floor. In the morning, it is folded and put away, and the room returns to an empty, open space. This is not just aesthetics. Visual clutter creates cognitive load. Your brain registers every object in your field of vision, even peripherally, and processes it. A messy room is a low-grade stressor that keeps the nervous system slightly activated. Scanning, noting the things that need to be done. A clean, empty room sends the opposite signal. Safety, order, calm, nothing needs your attention. A 2018 study from the University of Tokyo found that participants who slept in a clean, organized room had lower nighttime cortisol levels and reported higher sleep satisfaction than those in cluttered rooms, even when mattress quality and noise levels were identical. The act of tidying the bedroom before sleep also becomes a wind-down ritual, a physical closing of the day. I used to leave clothes on the floor and books stacked on my nightstand, a small library of half-read intentions. In Japan, I learned to spend 5 minutes each evening returning the bedroom to a state of order. Fold the blanket, clear the surfaces, put the stray objects back where they belong. That 5 minutes became a meditation. A cleared floor became a cleared mind. When I lay down, there was nothing to look at, nothing to process, nothing to do. Just rest. Number 11. They practice Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing, and it resets their nervous system for sleep. Shinrin-yoku translates to forest bath, and it means spending time in a forested area, not exercising, not hiking aggressively, not listening to a podcast or checking your phone, just being present among trees. The Japanese government has designated dozens of official forest therapy trails, and doctors prescribe Shinrin-yoku for stress-related conditions. It is a recognized medical intervention. The sleep connection is profound. Trees emit phytoncides, antimicrobial compounds that, when inhaled, have been shown to lower cortisol, reduce blood pressure, and increase natural killer cell activity. A 2019 study from Chiba University found that participants who spent 2 hours forest bathing in the afternoon had significantly longer deep sleep duration and lower nighttime cortisol than those who spent the same time in an urban environment. The effect is not just chemical. The fractal patterns of leaves, the sound of wind moving through branches, the absence of artificial stimuli, all of these shift the nervous system from sympathetic fight or flight to parasympathetic rest and digest. The forest is doing something to your body that you can feel but not name. Even a short walk in a city park with trees can produce a measurable effect. I try to spend 30 minutes under trees at least 3 times a week. And on those days, I fall asleep faster and dream more vividly. The dreams are richer, stranger, more colorful. It is as if the forest unlocks something in the sleeping brain. Find trees, sit under them, let them work on you. Do not bring your phone. Do not track your steps, just be there. Number 10. They use the Jenkin as a psychological boundary between the chaos of the world and the peace of home. The Jenkin is the traditional Japanese entryway, a lowered floor area where shoes are removed and stored before stepping up into the living space. It is a physical threshold, a literal step up from the outside world into the interior. But it is also a psychological one. When you step out of your shoes in the Jenkin, you are symbolically and literally leaving the dirt, the stress, and the demands of the outside world at the door. The shoes stay in the Jenkin, the day stays with them. You are entering a clean, safe, ordered space. This transition, ritual signals to the nervous system that the period of external vigilance is over. The day is done, you are home. In the West, we often track the outside world deep into our homes. Wearing shoes across the carpet, dropping bags on the kitchen counter, carrying the energy of traffic and meetings and errands right into the bedroom. There is no threshold. There is no off switch. Creating a Jenkin-like transition, even without the architecture, can improve sleep by creating a clear off switch. I now remove my shoes at the door, wash my hands and face, and change into house clothes immediately upon arriving home. It takes 2 minutes. The effect on my evening calm is outsized. My shoulders drop, my jaw unclenches. I am home. Create a threshold. Leave the world at the door. Number 9. They eat their largest meal at midday, not at night. The traditional Japanese meal structure places the heaviest, most calorically dense meal in the middle of the day. Lunch is often a full set meal with rice, soup, protein, and vegetables. Dinner, as mentioned, is lighter. This aligns with the body's circadian metabolic rhythms. Insulin sensitivity is higher in the morning and early afternoon, meaning your body processes carbohydrates more efficiently. Late-night eating, especially heavy meals, forces digestion to compete with sleep. A 2022 study from the National Institute of Health and Nutrition in Tokyo found that participants who consumed their largest meal at lunch had significantly better sleep quality and lower fasting blood glucose the next morning compared to those who consumed their largest meal at dinner, even when total daily calories were identical. The Japanese are not avoiding carbs. They are eating them at the right time. I shifted my largest meal to midday about 2 years ago, and the difference in my sleep was noticeable within a week. I no longer went to bed feeling full and woke up feeling light. The morning hunger felt clean instead of desperate. Try front-loading your calories for a week and see how your body responds. Eat a substantial lunch. Eat a light dinner. Let your body rest at night instead of digesting. Number 8. They practice mindfulness through tea ceremony and daily ritual, not through apps. The Japanese tea ceremony chanoyu is a highly formalized practice of preparing and serving matcha. Every movement is prescribed. Every object is handled with intention. The whisk is lifted just so. The bowl is turned just so. The goal is not the tea. The goal is presence. But you do not need to perform a tea ceremony to access this benefit. The broader Japanese cultural habit of performing daily tasks with full attention, pouring water, arranging food, folding laundry, creates a baseline of mindfulness that lowers overall anxiety and quiets the racing mind that keeps so many Westerners awake at night. A 2021 study from Kyoto University found that participants who engaged in a daily ritual performed with full attention, even a simple one like brewing tea, had lower bedtime anxiety and faster sleep onset than those who performed the same task while distracted. The ritual itself becomes a meditation. The mind settles into the movements. I started brewing my evening hojicha with full attention, watching the water darken, smelling the roasted aroma, feeling the warmth of the cup in my hands. That 5 minutes of presence became a bridge from the doing mind to the resting mind. Pick one evening task, brewing tea, folding a blanket, washing your face, and do it tonight with complete attention. No phone, no podcast, just the task, just you. Number 7. They sleep in separate beds or separate rooms when needed, without stigma. In Japan, it is not uncommon for married couples to sleep in separate futons, or even separate rooms, especially if one partner snores, has a different schedule, or is a restless sleeper. This is not seen as a sign of a failing marriage. It is seen as practical, a way to protect sleep for both parties. A 2019 survey by the Japan Sleep Association found that nearly 30% of married couples over 40 sleep in separate rooms, and those who do report higher sleep satisfaction and lower rates of daytime irritability. In the West, sleeping apart is loaded with shame and meaning. It signals distance. It signals problems. But sleep is a biological necessity, not a relationship statement. If your partner's snoring, movement, or schedule is destroying your sleep, the Japanese solution is simple. Sleep apart. Stay connected during waking hours. I have friends in Tokyo who have been happily married for 30 years and have never shared a bedroom. They have breakfast together every morning, rested and affectionate. Consider the possibility that sharing a bed is not worth the sleep debt. Consider that a good night's sleep might make you a better partner than a shared mattress ever could. Number 6. They use a sobakawa pillow, a buckwheat hull pillow that supports the neck without trapping heat. The traditional Japanese pillow, the sobakawa makura, is filled with buckwheat hulls. It is firm, moldable, and highly breathable. Unlike foam or down pillows that compress and trap heat, the buckwheat hulls allow air to circulate freely, keeping the head cool. They also conform to the shape of the head and neck without collapsing, providing consistent support throughout the night. The pillow makes a soft rustling sound when you move, like dried leaves, and that sound becomes soothing over time. A 2020 study from the Shiga University of Medical Science found that participants using buckwheat pillows had lower skin temperature around the head and neck, fewer position changes, and better subjective sleep quality than those using synthetic pillows. The pillow is also adjustable. You can add or remove holes to customize the height. When I first tried one, I thought it felt like sleeping on a bag of gravel. The firmness was shocking. By the third night, I could not imagine going back. My neck pain disappeared. I stopped flipping the pillow to find the cool side because the whole pillow stayed cool. A Sobakawa pillow costs about $30 and lasts for years. It might be the best sleep investment you ever make. Number 5. They practice a short evening walk called sampo, and it is not exercise. It is a transition. After dinner, especially in the warmer months, Japanese people of all ages take a short walk around their neighborhood. This is sampo. It is not a power walk. It is not a workout. It is a gentle, aimless stroll, often lasting 15 to 20 minutes. The purpose is not to burn calories. It is to aid digestion, to transition from the activity of the day to the stillness of the evening, and to get a final dose of fading natural light. A 2021 study from the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology found that an evening walk of just 20 minutes improved sleep latency and increased deep sleep in older adults, with effects comparable to some sleep medications but without side effects. The walk also provides an opportunity for casual social connection, greeting neighbors, which reduces the loneliness that is itself a risk factor for poor sleep. I adopted the evening sampo in Kyoto, and it became my favorite part of the day. The cooling air, the soft light, the sound of geta sandals on pavement. By the time I returned home, I was ready for a bath and then bed. The rhythm was perfect. Take a slow walk tonight. No destination, no pace. Just movement and air. Number 4. They honor the pre-sleep wind down as a sacred ritual, not an afterthought. In a typical Japanese evening, there is a clear sequence. The evening meal ends early, often by 7. The bath follows, then quiet activities, reading, light conversation, tidying, tea. Screens are put away, the lights are dimmed. The body and mind are gradually, deliberately brought down from the stimulation of the day. This wind-down period often lasts an hour or more. In the West, we often go from a brightly lit screen directly to bed and expect the brain to switch off on command. It does not work that way. The brain is not a light switch, it is a dimmer. A 2022 study from the University of Tokyo found that participants who engaged in a structured 1-hour wind-down routine had significantly shorter sleep onset and higher sleep satisfaction than those who went to bed immediately after stimulating activities. The wind down does not need to be complicated. Dim the lights. Put the phone away. Read a physical book. Drink warm tea. Sit quietly. Let the day settle. Give your brain the signal it is waiting for. Night is here. It is safe to rest. Number 3. They keep their bedroom dark enough to see the stars or as close to it as possible. Japanese bedrooms at night are dark. Not dim. Not sort of dark with a glowing smoke detector and a charging light and a sliver of street light through the blinds. Dark, blackout curtains are common in urban apartments. But even in older homes, the sleeping alcove is often shielded from windows by sliding screens. The science on darkness and sleep is unequivocal. Even small amounts of light during sleep suppress melatonin. Fragment sleep architecture, and are linked to higher rates of depression and metabolic dysfunction. A 2019 study from the Nara Medical University found that participants sleeping in rooms with measurable light above 1 lux, roughly the light of a single candle, had significantly shallower sleep and higher next-day fatigue than those in completely dark rooms. The Japanese approach is simple. Identify every light source in your bedroom. Cover them. Use blackout curtains or an eye mask. Make the room so dark you cannot see your hand in front of your face. I started using a silk eye mask in Tokyo, and my deep sleep percentage, as measured by a wearable tracker, increased by nearly 20%. Darkness is a nutrient. Feed yourself. Number 2. They listen to their body's natural fatigue signals instead of overriding them with stimulation. Japanese culture, for all its discipline, has a deep respect for the body's natural rhythms. When a Japanese person feels tired, they do not reach for another coffee. They do not blast music. They do not scroll social media to jolt themselves awake. They rest. In Emuri, as we discussed, is the public expression of this. But at home, the same principle applies. If you are tired at 9:30, you go to bed at 9:30. You do not force yourself to stay up until 11, because that is when adults go to bed. You do not override your body's signal with caffeine or screens. You trust the signal. A 2020 study from the University of Tsukuba found that people who went to bed within 30 minutes of their first subjective feeling of sleepiness had significantly higher sleep efficiency than those who pushed through and went to bed later. The body knows when it needs to sleep. We have just become very good at ignoring it. The Japanese listen. Tonight, when you feel that first wave of genuine drowsiness, the heavy eyelids, the slight chill, the mental fog, go to bed. Do not finish the episode. Do not check one more email. Go to bed. Your body is smarter than your schedule. And number 1. The single most powerful Japanese sleep habit I have ever encountered. They do not try to sleep. They prepare for sleep, then let go. This is the fundamental philosophical difference between the Western and Japanese approach to rest. In the West, we try to sleep. We chase it. We medicate for it, we track it, we optimize it. We lie in bed and think about the fact that we are not sleeping, which guarantees we will not sleep. The Japanese approach is the opposite. You create the conditions for sleep: the cool room, the warm bath, the light meal, the dark space, the quiet mind, the clean futon, and then you simply lie down and allow sleep to come. You do not force it, you do not demand it. You trust that the prepared body, in the prepared environment, will do what it knows how to do. This is not passivity. It is a radical act of trust in your own biology. A 2023 study from the University of Tokyo found that the single strongest predictor of sleep quality was not sleep duration, not bedtime consistency, but what the researchers called sleep-related self-efficacy. The belief that one could sleep well without effort or medication. The Japanese have that belief. They have it because they have spent all day, every day, building the conditions that make sleep inevitable. You do not have to move to Japan. You do not have to sleep on a futon or eat natto or take a bath every night. But you do have to stop chasing sleep and start preparing for it. Pick one habit from this list, just one, do it tonight, then another tomorrow. Build the conditions, trust your body, and wake up tomorrow feeling like you have been on vacation.